If you feel like you don't belong anywhere, it's not because you are broken. It's because somewhere along the way, you learned how to exist without fully feeling safe existing as yourself. You enter rooms and everything looks normal on the outside. People are talking, laughing, moving forward with ease. But something inside you quietly steps back like it doesn't know where it's supposed to stand. You smile at the right moments, you respond correctly, you even laugh when it fits the situation. But there is always a strange distance between you and the moment you are in. Like life is happening slightly ahead of you, and you are always trying to catch up to it. And over time, you stop questioning that distance and start calling it your personality. There are 5 traits that slowly build this feeling of not belonging anywhere, and they don't appear suddenly. They develop quietly, like survival patterns that once protected you, but later became the way you see yourself. The first is hyper-awareness of others and disconnection from yourself. You don't just notice people, you read them constantly. A small shift in tone changes your internal state. A facial expression feels like information you must decode. Silence starts to feel meaningful even when nothing is being said. You begin predicting reactions before they happen, adjusting yourself before anything goes wrong. And slowly, your attention moves so far outward that you stop fully living inside your own experience. You are no longer inside life, you are monitoring it from a slight distance. And this didn't start as intelligence. It started the first time being misunderstood felt unsafe. The second trait is emotional self-containment. You learned how to hold everything inside so quietly that even your pain stopped needing expression. At first, you said, "I'm fine" to others. Then you started saying it automatically, and eventually, you started believing it just to avoid the weight of explaining anything. People begin to see you as strong, independent, low maintenance. But what they don't see is that nothing reaches you when you never show where you are breaking. And over time, you don't become strong in the way people think. You become self-contained in a way that slowly removes support from your life without you even noticing. The third trait is adaptive identity. You become slightly different versions of yourself depending on who you are with. With some people you are open, with some you are controlled, with some you are funny, with some you are quiet. It helps you survive socially. It helps you avoid rejection. But it also creates a quiet confusion inside you. Because when you can adjust to everyone, you slowly lose the feeling of being one fixed self anywhere. And one day you catch yourself in silence, wondering not who likes you, but who you actually are when no one is shaping your behavior. The fourth trait is overthinking that feels like awareness. You replay conversations others forgot. You analyze pauses, tone shifts, facial expressions, meanings that may not even exist. It feels like control, like if you can understand everything, nothing can surprise you again. But underneath it is something deeper. It is a nervous system that learned unpredictability too early. So now your mind stays alert even when nothing is happening. And slowly, silence stops feeling peaceful. It starts feeling like something might be about to go wrong. The fifth trait is emotional depth without expression. You feel things deeply, sometimes more deeply than anyone around you realizes. But you have learned how to contain it so well that it rarely reaches the outside world. So people assume you are fine, stable, unshaken. But internally, you are processing everything at a level no one can see. And this creates a strange illusion that you are just different, not struggling. But none of this started as identity. It started as adaptation in moments where being fully yourself didn't feel fully safe. And slowly, all of this builds into one shared experience, not of being unwanted, but of being slightly removed from life while still living inside it. You are not disconnected because you don't care. You are disconnected because at some point caring came with consequences. So you learn to reduce your emotional footprint just enough to avoid getting hurt in the same way again. But what protected you then is what isolates you now. And this is why belonging feels unfamiliar even when you are surrounded by people who genuinely don't mind your presence. Because belonging was never meant to feel like performance. It was never meant to feel like adjusting yourself into something acceptable. It was meant to feel like staying connected to yourself while being with others. But if you have spent long enough adapting, even safe spaces can feel slightly unreal at first, because your nervous system is still waiting for something to change. And this is the part no one tells you. What feels like not belonging anywhere is often not a lack of place, but a habit of stepping slightly outside yourself before anything else can reject you. You learn to leave first emotionally, so nothing could leave you unexpectedly. It worked when you needed it. It protected you when you didn't have options. But now it quietly follows you into moments where nothing is actually wrong. And slowly, healing doesn't begin by becoming someone new. It begins in small moments where you stay present a little longer than your instinct tells you to, where you don't monitor the room, you feel it, where you don't adjust immediately, you pause and notice what you actually think, where you don't disappear from yourself just to remain acceptable in someone else's space. Because belonging was never about fitting everywhere. It was always about not abandoning yourself in the places you enter. And the moment you stop leaving yourself first, you start realizing you were never as far away as you thought.